Good evening, Peter. How you getting on?
I'm doing really well. I'm not bad at all. I've been in charge of the house today
Oh dear.
because
Sounds dangerous.
Karen, bless her, she's working away backstage there, but she's feeling a bit yuck
Yeah.
because she got her first vaccine yesterday.
Oh, good.
So that's
Well done, her.
that's one under the belt for Karen. So, but
Good
she's just
stuff.
feeling a bit sore arm and a bit achy today. So.
You've got run down. They say that you get that after a vaccine or an injection. You get that sort of thing.
Yeah. So, but that's it done. So
well done, her.
Really good.
Good.
So it's good. That's that. So good evening, folks. Welcome. Lovely to see so many people joining us tonight again. Remember, we're live on Facebook on 3 different channels: Tunes in the House, Peter Wood Music, and Tartan Tunes. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter, and we're live on Twitch. But we still don't really know very much about Twitch. We've not sussed that one just much yet. Anyway, good evening, folks. Please share this about to as much people as possible. We've got a fantastic night coming up for you. We've got 2 amazing guests. We've got Ross Couper, originally from Shetland, on fiddle, and we have JP Cormier from Halifax. He's over in Canada. So it's going to be fantastic to have a great night. So please share it about, tell all your friends. This is going to be a cracking wee show.
Can't wait.
We just wanted to say one thing tonight, didn't we, Ross? See, on Wednesday night, folks, we were doing our wee advert as normal, and we got hit for spam, and the spammers, we got hit by spammers for the first time ever in all our days. Please, if it ever does happen, folks, we didn't want to go on about it, and we don't want to acknowledge them or anything if it does happen. So if it does happen, please just ignore it, accept our apologies, and Karen is working her way background, and if it does come through, she is going to try and delete them off the face of our site anyway. So, and she's been working away trying to find ways to stop them all week, so hopefully, fingers crossed, they won't be there, but we don't want to mention it on it, so that's it. So just ignore them, don't click on anything if you see something odd. Have you got anything else you want to say, Roscoe?
No, well done to Karen. I've just seen a couple of messages that are flashing up saying that they've had the jag as well, so good. The more the merrier, I think. I can't wait to get mine. I've noticed.
I think they forgot about me. Are accordion players kind of down the list? Or?
Yeah, but I've seen a thing that you guys aren't getting a vaccine, you're getting shotgun cartridges. Accordion players, apparently. I don't know.
Is that right?
I just heard that. It's not my opinion.
Oh well.
Uh-huh.
I can imagine. Because we just point the instrument and fire it.
Exactly. What are you playing tonight, Peter?
Tonight, I'm going to do a set of 4 pipe reels. The first one's an old traddy, and the next 3 are all new comps.
Nice.
So we're going to start off with the Brawlham, then we're going to Marry Rowan of Bowmore, which is one of Gordon Shan's tunes.
Nice.
In Gordon's book, The Journey.
Yeah, that's a great
well
book.
worth having. And
Brilliant.
the second tune, the third tune is out of this book as well, and it's called Martin's. And I think he wrote it for Martin Gillespie. For his
very good.
Poet. Remember we had them on, we had Martin on as a guest once.
Yeah. They're doing really well, actually, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the last one I'm going to play, it's called Fiona Cameron of Craighurst, out of Alan Crookston's book.
Oh, very good.
So that's Alan's book, from Tunes from My Heart, from
Nice.
the heart. And Gordon's just called Journey. If you're looking for these books, pop onto these guys' websites, they're really good. Gordon Shand and Alan Crookston. So I'll give these a wee bash and see. There's quite a lot of notes here. Considering there's only 9 notes in the pipes, it's getting them in the right order that's the blighter though.
But I'm not worthy, Peter, I'm not worthy.
Get on, right. Here we go.
Fantastic.
Good tune.
Fantastic. Yeah. Can I be honest, Peter? Can I tell you something and be pretty honest about this?
What?
That's the first time I've heard you play all the way through, because usually I'm tuning my pipes when you're playing.
Yeah.
You'll notice that I don't have the small pipes tonight, but
Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, well, because one thing we've found, aren't you, you would like to play the big pipes a bit more, and the big pipes don't particularly come across very well when we're streaming. But if we record them in advance, they seem to come a lot better.
Yeah.
There's Sheila Bain. Look, everybody's... I'm trying my bit. I'm really looking after Karen, don't worry. I think there's folk worried that I'm not looking after her out there. That's alright. Yeah, so you'd like to do the big pipes a bit more. So, tonight you've recorded a wee bit for us. Tell me, is there any weddings or anything like that coming in yet for bookings? Or?
Well, funnily enough, when you're speaking about the vaccine and Karen getting the vaccine, I've noticed quite a lot of wedding bookings, because pipers can be outside and in the distance, so it's a lot easier for me to be at a small wedding. And there are circumstances where I'm not counted in the wedding party in numbers.
Right, okay.
I've noticed a bit of a, especially with the weather change, everybody's starting to think about that time.
So if folk are wanting to book you for playing at a wedding, jump onto that website and get a hold of you there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now what about the adult learners class thing? Are you still doing some of that?
Yeah, that's going strong. There's still spaces in that. That's good fun, actually. Really, really good fun. So if you're interested at any level or just to give it a go, get in touch.
Because I even heard somebody on Off the Ball the other day on the BBC. They had Professor Jason Leach on, and he takes all these questions, and somebody said, is it alright to learn the bagpipes just now? And he said, I suppose so, but we'd prefer people didn't.
Nothing to do with health and safety.
Nothing to do with COVID.
In general.
No, in general.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are we getting for you tonight? We're getting a wee set in the big bikes.
I'm going to play. Yeah, I'm going to do a bit of a theme over the next sort of month, and I noticed one of the fans that we have that Peter Wydig, he put a message up. Peter's bought the Kintail bagpipe company. It's not been trading for the last couple of years, but they've been building up. They've been buying tools, and they've been getting the business set up. So Kintail, which started in the early 70s, this is their 50th year. They're
I can remember
relaunching.
Kintail stuff coming out. Do you know that?
Yeah,
very distinct events to the drones. Remember?
Yeah, that's correct. So Peter very kindly sent me a wooden chanter. So this is the new Kintail chanter that he's doing. So they've got the range of David Glenn pipes. So hopefully, I'm not hinting here because he has mentioned he might do this. To send me a set of the new Glenn pipes to trial. Keep I hope, but trial. Tonight on a set of 4/4s on the new Kintail chanter, just a set of 4/4s.
Yeah, so if you like the sound of this, folks, there's the website to go and have a look at the new Kintail chanters. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
That's much better. Loads better.
I know, funny, I just got, it's a beautiful chant, I just got a message from Davey Hunter there saying, you slacker. It's not that, it's great to hear.
I agree, Davey, I agree. I'm playing live and playing my heart out, and he's had about 14 takes. No, nice chanter, really nice balance.
One hit, that was it.
Nice balance.
And it's so comfortable. There's the space. Quite a lot of modern chanters, the bottom hand's quite spaced out, but this is a beautiful, comfortable chanter. Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Fantastic. Well,
so
that's
definitely
fantastic.
get in touch and speak to Peter. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah. If anybody's interested in, go for it. What reads did you have on tonight?
Well, funnily enough, I was wanting to mention that as well. That was our last guest, Donald McPhee. That was one of his reads, so straight out the box, straight in a brand new chanter.
Yeah,
Great.
he sent me one as well,
yeah.
and I stuck mine into the chanter and it just singing straight away. Lovely. So remember, folks, if you want any pipe
he's a
chanter,
great read maker.
Donald McPhee's the man to go for. Definitely. Lovely. Right.
Thank you much.
It's all going very well so far. Thank you very much, folks. There's loads of people watching tonight. This is fantastic. Great to see the numbers so high again. Remember and share it about as well. We are now going to bring on an incredible fiddle player that I've known since he was a very young chap. And it's another Ross. It's Ross Couper this time. Ross, are you with us at all? Let's bring him on. Hello, sir.
Hello, how's it going? How are you?
We're brilliant. How are you getting on?
I'm doing very good, yeah. Just sitting in the house.
Yeah, you're looking very healthy. Where are you tonight? Are you in Glasgow?
I'm in Glasgow, yeah. I've been
You're in
in,
Glasgow.
since not too long ago. I was in Shetland for a good while, but back in Glasgow now, so.
Does it not seem so strange? Like when you come home to Shetland, normally we all see each other and we meet up and things, and you've been here in Shetland for nearly a couple of months, and I've never seen you.
Well, five out
Crazy.
of the last 6 months I've been in Shetland and I've seen hardly anybody. But,
I know. It's
kind of before Christmas it was okay. You know, we kind of had a little bit of leeway then, but then it all kind of clamped down again, and we just basically isolated and just did our thing, you know. But
Yeah. It's been a strange old time.
Yes.
Old time.
it has.
Which we're needing to get through now, and hopefully this vaccine's just going to do the stuff, even though the accordion players aren't going to get them for a while.
I'm sure they'll let you in eventually.
Yeah, so they say. But what was I going to ask you? Yes, Ross, way back, you're steeped in music in a family.
Yeah.
Right back to your Shetland days. Mother, father, both very musical.
That's right. Yeah.
Grandfather.
Yeah, and then his father, and before him, and I don't know. It's however far back you can go, I guess. It's
It's great. Well, I mean, me going far enough back to remember your grandfather, Lel, up in Hera.
Yeah,
Lel Robertson, who was an incredibly nice man as well.
he was.
Absolute gentleman. And he was he was just great, wasn't he? And the Hera, can you tell us, the Hera, how many houses is there in the Hera and Yell?
Oh,
About
man.
3 or something.
Well, you're asking me now, but oh my God, I don't know. Maybe would have been different back in the day, but I guess these days maybe 15 or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but my granny and granddad, my granny's still there, and my uncle lives next door, and they lived on top of a very windy hill. It's like the most exposed place you can really get. Hell of a windy and all that kind of stuff, and very exposed place and kind of hard land, I guess, when they were before my time, when it was working the sheep and all this kind of stuff, but still plenty of time for a tune here and there. So
Aye, and the amazing thing about it all wasn't it? I mean, Hera, your grandfather that was there. For any other folks watching out there that know about guitar playing, etc., and things, that Peary Willie was from the Hera as well. Peary Willie Johnson.
yeah, he was. He's
Tiny
from
wee place. And
from a very small place. In fact, you can go there. You can go there now, and there's a kind of a little tribute to him, like a little monument type thing to him there. For anybody who's like a big fan of Peary Willie, if they go there, it's like, Jesus, is this actually where? You know, it's like in the absolute middle of nowhere in a tiny house. But yeah, that's where that started. And
do you know? Just quickly before I move on to that when I used to have the music shop in Shetland, and there was Peary Willie used to come in nearly about every day for a cup of tea in the morning, you know, and just sit at the counter.
great.
And just
crack.
when you were saying how people admired him, and there was this day he was sitting there having his cup of tea, and this American tourist came in and he was looking about through the books and CDs and things, and then he came over to the counter and he said, I'm from San Francisco or somewhere. He said, I'm looking for CDs or music books by a Shetland guitar player. He says, he's probably long dead by now, he said. And Billy Willie was sitting and he said, the guy said, his name is Billy Willie Johnson, and Willie just spit a mouthful of tea out across the place, you know. And I said to the fellow, no, it's okay actually, this is him sitting here. And for the, as you say, for the guy, it was like meeting God. It was just like,
yeah,
he was just almost on his knees apologising for having knocked him off.
He was an amazing guy. There was one or two times at school that I would, at lunchtime, I would go down to the lounge, and I was only happened a couple of times that I'd go and play dominoes with Piri Willie. I don't know how to play dominoes yet, but it was just to sit there and listen to him kind of telling yarns and that. He was a great fellow.
He told me one day he wasn't playing dominoes very well because his thumb was sore for playing the guitar. So I don't know what that was. Yeah. But of course, then the Hera, your mum, Margaret Robertson,
that's right,
was brought up in the Hera as well. Now Ross knows your mum very well.
Yeah, that's
through the tattoo world.
Oh, I see. Nice one.
Yeah. Not tattoos on arms, but.
Yeah. No, I haven't noticed any tattoos.
I've got a tattoo, your mum and Barbara.
See, I'll have to tell her.
Your mum.
She's maybe watching.
Well, if she is, then hello from me. But became great friends in the tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah. How many tattoos was it? One you done with the fiddles?
I've actually not done it, Peter. I've not done it. It's not to say I won't do it, but I've never done it yet. It's kind of been awkward because it kind of falls. It's in August and it falls amongst kind of quite a busy festival period.
It's a big thing, and it's a big commitment to staying on.
But you know, I would love to do it. I've been to see it one time actually because Mum gets like a guest ticket or two. And we can. She invited us to go and see it. I think it was like the kind of preview night or something to call it. And I went along and saw it, and it was brilliant. And she had a big moment where she went out in the middle of the whole thing, thousands of folk, and she had like a slow air kind of solo bit, and she totally. If it was me, it'd be like it's totally nervous. She totally nailed it, and it was a really proud moment. She was amazing. Yeah.
It's quite difficult to play a fiddle nervous, isn't it? Where you get plenty of vibrato going that way anyway, that'd be for sure.
Yeah, we'll never start with a slow air, that's for sure. But,
not at all. Ross McNaughton, what year did you do the tattoo then? What year did you meet?
That was 2017. That was 2017. It was a great fun. Really great fun.
Yeah, I've been back to the bar and all that afterwards. It's some carry on.
It's good fun. But it's good. I mean, the whole the Shetland fiddlers. I think that's what they call them. I actually went out to Germany with them with the Piper's Trail as well, and did a little like mini tattoo sort of thing out in Dusseldorf. And it's a great show that they put on.
Aye, they're brilliant.
And then, just very quickly, your father Alec as well, great entertainer as well.
That's right, and I guess he was kind of originally a fiddle player, but he doesn't play the fiddle so much nowadays. But he's right into the singer-songwriting stuff, and he had a lot of popularity with the Lowry songs and various kind of comedy songs, kind of with the Shetland dialect and all that kind of stuff, and he was a kind of big country music fan, and if there's ever a party on, it's not that long until the guitar comes out, and it's great. I love those nights, just sitting kind of playing some back and fiddle and listening to all the songs and feed clams.
It's great.
That's lovely.
The Lowry songs were incredible, weren't they? It was just like it just took off, and it's famous in Shetland. And
yeah, very.
It was that kind of concert entertainment type stuff, but what a great background for you to be brought up in, though. Seeing all that kind of stuff, that's bound to have helped you in your career to get on stage and perform, you know. So
it's certainly, it just made it not strange. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I guess for people that learn music, and you know, they might be brilliant players and everything, but to me, it just wasn't strange to go on stage and play music for people. So that was kind of a help. And then also the kind of thing that, like, when I was lying I can just about remember lying in the crib and you had, like, Willie Hunter playing the fiddle in the sitting room, practicing with Mum and all that. And I was lying listening to these, like, masters, you know, playing amazing stuff. And Sean Maguire, when he came to Shetland and all that stuff. And it was a great place it was a great atmosphere to be in. Yeah.
Would you care to give us a wee tune on the fiddle? Have you got a fiddle lying about tonight?
I happen to have one sitting right here.
Well, thank goodness, because that would have been interesting if you had said no.
Well, maybe I'll play a few Shetland tunes for you, I think.
Well,
in fact, I'll finish up with one of Willie Hunter's. So, four Shetland reels. The first one is Donald Blue, then Anduin at the bow, and then the forfeit of the ship, and then the Cape Breton Fiddler's Welcome to Shetland. How does that sound?
Cool.
Okay.
Brilliant. Fantastic, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Remember that,
Brilliant.
Ross? Remember, round of applause. Remember what that felt like?
That was so weird. Thank you very much, though.
It's a strange feeling these days, right? And if that's,
man, that was. Do you know what? That was actually so nice.
It's really interesting, folks out there, for us musicians, that you've been sitting watching us all playing and that, but we're so used to feeding back off the audience and things, and we don't really get that coming back. But there you go, we clap. So.
Yeah, it's really weird when you finish a massive set of tunes and it's just absolute silence.
Oh.
I mean, that does happen in the real life as well sometimes.
Yeah. So, anyway, tuition-wise, did Mum teach you a lot about the fiddling?
Yeah, Mum was I'd say my main teacher. I've had a few different ones. I actually started with Bernadette Porter, who you know, and a lovely woman, and that was my first teacher for a short time at the Bray School up near Vaux, where I'm from, and she was my first teacher.
Bernadette was incredibly good with absolute beginners, wasn't she? She was very kind and a nice nature about her that way.
Really good, and like nothing that would ever kind of stress you or anything like that. She was very nice, and actually she went off for a little while. There was a little period where she went off, and I had Davy Keith, you know Davy. He was the original piano player in Fiddler's Bid,
right? And
I had him for a short time, and then Mum was teaching in the Soon School, and we moved to Tingwell, and I started going to Soon School, and from that time I got Mum for fiddle lessons. And I did classical for a short time, so I had Alan Gifford and stuff like that. But that was my tuition in Shetland.
So that's really why Mum got the MBE then, was managing to put up with you all these years.
Managed, definitely, and by the way, you're not the first person to say that, but yeah. Yeah, no, she just achieved.
Congratulations to her. Congratulations to Margaret as well.
It's really well deserved. She's put really a lot of her life towards this. So it's really amazing.
And of course, I worked with your mum for quite a number of years.
That was in Anderson, wasn't it, Peter? Yeah.
Various schools we would cross paths, but mostly Anderson, yeah. But latterly up in Bray as well. But yeah, your mum was there for years. We used to do a lot of stuff, and then your mum and I done the course at university together as well. We went away.
Yeah, that was right. I was really pleased when she said you were on that. I was like, it'd be a nice familiar face to be on the same course. And, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was amazing to get two sensible old adults away, you know. It was really quiet nights all the time, and I spent a couple of nights out with you and your uni pals. It was anything but quiet. Yes, I do remember. Oh yeah, that was Celtic Connections, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It's responsible for a lot, though.
Yeah. So your own education, you went to Plockton as well, didn't you?
That's right. I actually saw somebody commenting earlier on from Plockton. I went there for my last year of high school. I was meaning to be a marine engineer, but I'm too colourblind, so I was like, right, it's the music then. So decided to go to Plockton. Had a great year there, learning in the music school, it was brilliant. And then I went to Newcastle University after that. A lot of people were going to Glasgow, and I applied for there too, but I kind of wanted to do something different or like kind of fresh. I think I fancied going somewhere new. So I went to Newcastle and studied there. Stayed there for 5 years. A great city. And at that, I'm not sure I think the tunes are still pretty rocking down there. But when I was there, there was a great bunch of people living there, and the sessions were brilliant. And yeah.
And they had a great bunch of tutors as well at Newcastle and all that as well, didn't they?
They did, and my fiddle teacher was the wonderful Katrina MacDonald, who you'll all know, I'm sure. She she put up with me for 4 years, and she was great, and we're still good pals. So I think it was all right.
I think that must have been interesting doing the Newcastle course as well, because I think it took you into a slightly different outlook than, say, like the Conservatoire course. You were possibly seeing different dimensions of folk music, etc. as well.
Yeah, I mean, you would get the English folk music side of it, and there was a bit of that in the sort of theory and the kind of lectures and everything. And I lived with a great bluegrass guitarist for a while, and that I got super into bluegrass at that point. And I guess I'd been doing improvisation before that, but it kind of opened me up to even more of that. And like, actually, I've been listening to it a lot, but I'd never had the chance to do it in real life, like playing along with it. He was from Canada, and he was a great flat picking guitarist, and so I was getting to do it for real with somebody who was from that background, and that was really cool. And a good pal of mine, Dan Walsh, banjo player as well, and a few of them, Tom Cronin, great on the mandolin, and a few good folks.
Interesting, isn't it? And of course, when you went to Plockton, well, that gave you probably your first in look at the kind of Gaelic culture, I suppose, a bit as well, didn't it?
Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever been amongst that, and that was a great thing. I just instantly loved the just everything about it, the singing, and although I can't understand a word of it, it's a beautiful thing to listen to, you know.
Well, because one of the big things for yourself, and it's a wee bit unusual, isn't it? Well, it is unusual, and it's very talented to be able to do it, is to cross over into that West Coast style of playing, which you've done pretty successfully. I mean, you were in a Gaelic band for a while.
Well, yeah.
And
I was in a band that definitely did some Gaelic stuff, but yeah.
And then your Pete Bog Fairies as well.
Yeah. Managed to end up getting a job playing with the Pete Bogs, which was really great. And I was actually doing a gig with that. Sorry, Ross.
No, I was going to say just that when you mentioned the Pete Bog Fairies, I think they're brilliant. You know, I've always thought they're brilliant.
They're a really good bunch of guys. We have great fun. And I was actually doing a gig with that band you mentioned, Peter, which was called Bodega, and
yes.
we were in Milwaukee at Milwaukee Irish Festival, and we were on the rooftop bar in the hotel, which is probably one of the best bits of the festival. It was brilliant. And there was this barman, and I can't remember his name, but for years I did remember his name, but it's gone now. But he was just determined to show the Scottish people the best time possible, and it was a kind of a year of Scotland. There was a few Scottish bands. I think there was like Lau and us and the Pete Bogs, and it might have been Nana Massey and Jenna Reid was there. Anyway, we ended up having tunes, and some of the Pete Bogs were there, and me and Peter and a few of the guys, me and Adam Sutherland as well, who was playing with them at the time. We were playing around, having tunes, and they were going through a bit of a change. They were changing to two fiddle players then, Peter and Adam Sutherland and Peter Tickell. And so they asked me to be a dep at that point, which is a totally brilliant thing. I was most excited. And then after a few years, Peter Tickell got a job playing with Sting, actually. He went on tour with him for a while. And then I joined
as you do. You know.
Yeah, that's it. I joined the Pete Bogs, so that was great. It was great.
It's interesting. There's a chap, Joe Nicholson, follows us on the show all the time, and that's Colin Nicholson's father. You know Colin, the accordion.
Oh yeah. Colin's a great fellow. Yeah, another good pal.
Joe was just asking there. He says, "Did you know my son at Newcastle? He was at
Yes,
Newcastle."
I did. Yeah. No, he was a superb fellow. Still is, obviously, and I look forward to seeing him again.
Yeah, we'll catch him sometime. And that's Orkney connection. Of course, your sister's in Orkney now as well. So you've got
my
Orkney
sister is. Yeah.
And your sister-in-law's Arcadian as well.
That's right, yeah. Mum was wondering what was going on with Orkney for a while there, but
yeah.
No, they're all my sister-in-law, lovely. She lives up in Shetland now, great person, and Marianne now lives down in Orkney, and they're taking good care of her down there, and she's having a great time.
And of course, when we go look at that, it was Ryan, your brother, up here. Mm-hmm. Ryan's also an incredible musician.
Unbelievable.
Yes, yeah. He just, I remember going to Ireland with him, I decked for somebody to help them out with a kids band they were at the time, and they needed a piano player, and I went away to the gig in the band or something.
Oh, he said that was a great trip there.
Oh my goodness, but he wasn't old at all. He was just, anyway, we got him, like, he wasn't, I don't know what age he was, 14, 15-year-old or something like that, and we kind of got him sneaked him into a few pubs to sessions and things, kind of sitting this wee guy in the corner, you know. And they kind of look at him, you know, the way the Irish go, oh, no, this little guy down here. And then we kind of handed him a fiddle or a guitar every so often, and he brought the house down, and that was it. He was allowed after that. There was no problem.
Yeah, that's a pass.
Yeah. He was pouring pints of Guinness before the end of the night. But no, it was a wonderful trip. It was Maggie Adamson, that's who was there, and Laura Lockyer.
That's right. Do you know, I can't remember the name of that band now, but that's right, yeah.
Yeah, were they swinging fiddles? Were they swinging fiddles?
Oh, I think that's what it was, yeah. That's
it was
right.
something like that. But awful good fun. It was great fun going away with them anyway, and we had a spree. So, but you and Ryan have just brought out a new album.
Yeah, finally.
Did you record the album in lockdown?
Yep. So it was like in the first lockdown, and then kind of coming towards the end of it when we got a bit of leeway, and then Shetland actually went into kind of sort of the best position I think in the country or something like that. Sometime around then, and Mariel is a music venue for those who don't know, and a great facility in Lerwick in Shetland, and they have a recording studio there, and we kind of got in touch with them asking if it was going to be possible to record in the studio, and they kind of used us as an experiment. So we went in and just to see if it was possible to record COVID safe, masks on when you're not playing, and we sat as far apart as we could in the room we were in, and all that stuff. And thanks to them for sort of agreeing to that, it was possible. So yeah.
Do you have to, with the mask on when you're doing a recording session, then do you have to like use a straw at the side to drink or something like
that? yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Just a kind of canister.
Yeah, one of these hats with the straw coming in. Yeah.
The album is absolutely phenomenal. It's incredible playing.
Well, thank you very much.
From the two brothers, and you can tell that yous are brothers because it just knits, doesn't it? And yous do it. Mm-hmm. Now we've got a wee track here that I think we'll show folk first, and then we'll maybe talk about where folk could maybe get the album. And what was the album called? You called the album.
It's called And Then They Made Tay.
Now, we've got a lot of listeners in Australia and Canada and America and Europe. What does that mean?
And Pitlochry.
And Pitlochry, well, this is for you, Pitlochry. Well, no, it's sort of kind of, it's a thing that's said in Shetland, like if something happened, because there's so much tay drank in Shetland, and it's just... That's like if somebody comes in, you have tea, and then when you have breakfast, and then you have 11 o'clocks or 12 o'clocks maybe, and then you have lunch, and then you have 3 o'clocks, and then you have dinner, and then 8 o'clocks, and then maybe supper, and then if anybody comes in and visits you, you have more tea. So it's kind of this saying that's been around for a wee while. It's just, and then they made tea. It's just kind of a comment on how much tea is drank in Shetland, and I thought it was just a kind of a nice sort of Shetland link.
Yeah. And I love these Shetland links, and I think lots and lots of people do as well, because I noticed that new tune you composed the other day as well, and that was the one about the tacking the time.
Oh, tacking home the time, yeah,
tacking home the time, and you wrote down the story, and I'd never heard that before, and I've lived up here for 25 years, but there we go. So.
Yeah, I'd never heard it before either. It was my mum that was telling me. It was back in the day when everybody had wind-up clocks, and I guess maybe wind-up pocket watches and stuff like that. Eventually the time would be lost, and nobody would have the right time and no way of actually getting it. So when a local person was going to the nearest post office, the nearest kind of village or town, they would get the proper time, set their watch, and on the way back home, they would stop along people's houses, telling them the correct time, and that was called tacking home the time. And I thought it was such a great story.
Oh that'll stick with me. I love these kind of stories, and I'd never heard that before.
It's a lovely thing.
Brand new. Anyway, listen, well, let's have a wee watch at this video of you and Ryan, and then we'll talk about what tunes you played after it and things like that. That'll be good.
Cool.
Great.
So, here we go. I want to.
Man, that's amazing. That is amazing.
I'm sweating. I'm kind of sweating watching that. To be honest.
Sweating watching it. It's all right. You can have a pint in a wee while once it's all over.
When you mentioned, can I just mention something? The last thing you said before we went on to the clip you playing there was about taking home the time, and it's when you're watching you play. I don't know how old that instrument is that you're playing, if it's an old or new, but it's fundamentally, it's what has it got? 4 strings and a bow, and it's got the most incredible sound. And imagine back in the day when you were having to take time, but you were still playing instruments like that. It must have been the most incredible thing to listen to a musician live.
Oh, amazing, and a way that many people passed their time, on a Saturday night. You're right. It is great that when nobody had the internet to find out what time it was from anywhere, they still had the fiddle just lashing out tunes. That's a great thing.
So when we're on there, tell us, where can people buy this album, Ross? There's just comment after comment after comment coming in here.
Okay.
This is amazing. We've never heard this fiddle played like this before.
Oh my goodness! Well, I can.
People loving it. So, where's the best place to pick up the album for folk?
The best place to get the album is Bandcamp. So I think the address has just come up on the screen there. It's rosscouper.bandcamp.com. Now, you can pay with your card or you can pay with PayPal or anything like that. Just kind of follow the on-screen instructions there. And that means that it comes straight from me and Ryan. You can see a cardboard box on top of my wardrobe there. That's them up there. So it comes straight from us, and it's kind of the best deal for musicians, Bandcamp. So that's where to get it. It's available for download from there too. You can get the physical CD or the download. If you buy the physical CD, you also get a download just along with it. It's available on iTunes and all that stuff as well.
Your style of playing, I mean, you've developed it yourself over the years, because obviously you love variation and you're in there. Did you have any great influences, that players wise, that kind of steered you in that direction, or?
It's definitely. I'm still like everyone who plays music is learning every day. But like when I was a bit younger, people who influenced me, definitely the likes of Gordon Gunn. My mum got his CD when I was quite young, his Shoreside album, one of the kind of seminal fiddle albums. So listened a lot to that and got a lot of direction from that, and like things like friends and people that you grew up with. I mean, a bit older, but like Chris Stout, all the Fiddler's Bid guys, and Jenna Reid and Bethany Reid, and all these guys, and nowadays pals that you just sit having tunes with. I usually say that when people say, "What's your influences?" It's just actually my friends. they're all like unreal players, and it's great to sit and share music with them and pick stuff up. And yeah,
it's interesting when you speak about Gordon Gunn, because we had Gordon on as a guest one night, and
lovely.
I was talking about the Shoreside album because at that point in time when that album came out, I owned High Level Music, the shop, in Lerwick. And still to this day, of all fiddle albums, when I had the shop, that was the fiddle album that I think we sold most of. You couldn't keep up with it.
No, it's amazing.
I think everybody in Shetland must have a copy of that one somewhere. It's just,
yeah, I mean it's still amazing, and it's a bit of age, that album now, but it's still like it could have been recorded yesterday, you know.
Yeah. So it's like our other guest that's coming on later on after you tonight, JP Cormier. I think everybody's got his first album.
Amazing.
Covered somewhere in Shetland. It's just
absolutely fantastic.
He blew the place to places when he came here, and it was great. So what have you got in the pipeline? Have you got any projects lined up, or are you?
Well, I saw somebody I saw somebody commenting there. There's one or two comments coming up on my screen, and they're asking about a tune book, and I'm actually planning on releasing a tune book. Oh yeah, there it is. There. Hi, Alan. It's going to be coming out in the next kind of months, in the coming months. You know what I mean? I've got most of the tunes, if not all the tunes, written out. I'm still writing as I go, so I'll see if I include them or not. But some 30 odd tunes, and I'm going to release that in a tune book shortly.
There you go. You've sold an album as well. Look at that.
Yeah, thank you very much for buying an album. I just got an email and was thinking. So yeah, no, awesome for doing that. And yeah, so I've got that. I'm doing online teaching, which is I'm actually really getting into that. That's becoming something that's really really fun. A while ago, I did an online session, which was this kind of thing where I just recorded about an hour of standard tunes at a slow pace, and some at a medium pace, and some at a bit of a quicker pace, and it was just so folk could sit and have a tune in the house, just along with it. And I got Mum did some of the backing for it. Well, she did backing for everything on that one, but I'm thinking about doing a new one of them shortly. So
yeah, that's brilliant. No, it would be great to get a book out as well, because Mum's got a couple of books out, so you'll have to
She does, yeah, two volumes, yeah. Oh, she's got so many tunes. It's mental.
I've managed to do it in the last year as well.
I saw that. I'll have to get a copy of that here.
Oh, I'll sort you out with them. There's two come out. I've got two. I brought one out in September and one a month ago. And I've got enough for book three's away with Davy Hunter already, actually, but I'm not bringing that out for a while. We don't want to sicken people completely. Yeah. Anyway, but it's absolutely brilliant. That would be a good thing. So for fiddle tuition or that, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
Best thing to do is just find me on Facebook.
Facebook.
I don't have a link for that, but you'll find it easy enough. Don't go to Ross Couper Music, because that's defunct now. But you can just message my personal page. I don't mind that.
Okay. So folks, anybody looking for some tuition out there, there's a master ready to take you on.
Totally happy to do whatever. Yeah.
You don't fancy giving us another wee tune before you go the night, because the folk are just blowing away with your playing. They can't get enough of it.
That's very kind of them. I'll certainly play you another one. I was thinking maybe I would do a set from me and Ryan's album. Of course, it's just me playing, but I'll do.
That's okay. We'll imagine Ryan.
Just imagine a lot of chords.
Yeah, a lot of chords. I always find Ryan's funny, isn't it? When you say, "What chord did you play there, Ryan?"
What one?
and he'll go, what? What one? Yeah.
No, he's something else. It just pours out of his brain.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll play you a few tunes. This is the first one I wrote for my fiance, Cara Sanderson. So it's called Cara's Reel, and then the second one was written after a brilliant night at Unstfest with Peat Bog Fairies, and it's called The Most Northerly Peat Bog. Because Unst is this kind of most northerly island, and they have the most northerly phone box and the most northerly bus stop and everything else. And so I wrote this after a great night in the hall. I think the hall capacity was 250, and we had 400 in. It was absolute chaos. And then the last tune is called The Lang Air Reel. The Lang Air is a beautiful spot in Shetland. It's a very, very long walk away from where you park the car, and I went there with Maurice Henderson and Chris Stute, and we had a brilliant day, and I decided to write a tune for it. So 3 reels for you.
Magic.
Here we
Get 'em
go.
away.
Okay. There you go.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
Cheers,
really
guys.
good, man.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic
Peter
work.
mentioned about your new CD that's coming out. Peter mentioned before about the link that you and your brother have together. You know, on the CD, a lot of the guitar, a lot of the, you know, it's so clear, so brilliant. It's great.
No,
Well,
it
thank,
really
thank
is
you
good,
very,
man.
very much. It's been a real pleasure doing it. Me and Ryan have been thinking about doing it for years. So it's just that's been the sort of the one gift, I suppose, of COVID for us is that we had the time to do this. So yeah, it's been a bit of a gift.
Well,
that
please, folks, remember, if you fancy that album, please go on Bandcamp and get a hold of that one. Remember, the whole show's recorded and you can watch it back, so don't worry about running away for pens and paper and things. I'm watching there's comments coming in here from Australia, New Zealand, Canada, everywhere, and
Oh my goodness.
it was great there. There was one come in from South Africa, followed by one from Malaga in Spain, which is wonderful. So we're getting an
Gee
absolute
whiz.
international audience here. It just reminded me some of the tunes. You'll have to get a book out because these tunes are too classy to keep just to yourself.
Oh well, thanks, but no, I am definite.
You'll
It's
have to.
coming in the next wee while. Yeah.
You just reminded me some of the fired up sessions we had. Do you remember we went out to the Western Isles once to Heavkelt with the big band?
Oh,
Scaly Spellman slag.
what an absolute carry on! That was brilliant, brilliant crack. Me and Peter used to play in a band together called the Full Scaly Spelliman Slag, and it was a brilliant laugh. It started off with I think me and Maurice Henderson having a few tunes around the weekend, and then maybe we should do a band, and then just every weekend we went out. There was a new or 2 or 3 members in the band, and eventually I think there was like 14 folk or something.
Yeah, it was massive. It was massive. But you and I, that whole week, I remember we lived in black pudding, white pudding, and any alcohol we could get a hold of.
Yeah, just anything.
That was bad. Well, listen, Ross, it's been an absolute delight having you on.
Well,
great seeing you. We could have spoke for ages, but it's great seeing you going through your career, and I wish you all the success.
Thank you so much for asking me. Thank you so much.
Please go on and support the artists, as we say, and get in touch with us if you want some fiddle lessons or anything like that, folks. It'd be fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Very much. All the best to you and your fiancée.
Thank you very much, and to you guys, and all the best with the show. I love what you're doing. It's really good fun. It's really relaxed and great crack. So thank you.
You guys take care. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
All the best, guys. Bye bye.
Absolutely brilliant fiddling. I tell you what.
Oh yeah, it's
that's out of this world, eh? Out of this world.
Listen, just before we bring our next guest on, can I mention a couple of things quickly? Graham Mackay, you know Graham, the box player from the Cayley Cabin, and Graham sent me an album through the week, the Scottish cabin songs, and it's like all the most popular old Scottish songs played in the button box, and it's a cracking album. It's a really lovely listen with the old San Marino going, and it just sounds fantastic. So if anybody fancies one of them, get in touch with Graham at the Cayley Cabin. And the other one, remember we had Robert Whitehead the first Englishman that ever won the Scottish Accordion Championships.
He was brilliant.
There's Robert's new album called Simmer Dim, which is Simmerdin's actually settling because his daughter lives up here, and Simmerdin's the day when we don't get dark in the middle of the summer, the longest day. So Robert Whitehead and the Danelaw Band, fantastic, really, really good dance band. Highly recommend that one as well. An our lockdown CD project, so it's great. So
absolutely
that's
fantastic.
magic.
Yeah.
Now then, we're going across the ocean because we're going to bring in this fabulous gentleman that I've known for many, many, many years now. He's been at the Shetland Folk Festival 2 or 3 times at least, but we'll hear all about that. Can we bring in JP Cormier? That would be brilliant. JP!
How you doing, Peter?
John Paul Cormier, how are you, sir? Are you well?
I'm doing good.
I'm loving the hat.
Well, you know, my hair is getting kind of wild with this COVID lockdown thing. So Ginger's made me grow my hair long, and as you probably remember, my hair was short for the last few years.
Yeah.
And now she's getting down to my arse now.
We had a chap called Martin Donohoe on, a box player from Ireland, and he told us that, you know, he's got this huge big beard, and he said, but nobody was shaving in Ireland. They said even the women were hairy now.
I don't know how good that is.
So, JP, you're in Halifax.
I am. I'm having a beer.
Wonderful.
It isn't Tennent's, but it's the right color.
Yeah. You can see that you've had experience of Tennent's when you know the colours and all that kind of stuff.
Well, everybody makes fun of me over there because I drink Tennent's. And they say, you shouldn't drink that. That's just old Scottish beer. And that's one of my favorites.
That's not bad. So how's things been? What have you managed to do any playing this year at all, or last year, or?
Well, we basically what we did was, as soon as we realized that, because I was actually on tour when this thing started, and a major tour. I was gone. I left right after Christmas. And it was basically a 100-day trip that took me from Halifax to Los Angeles, back to Ottawa, all the way out to Vancouver, all the way down through California the second time, and then across to the eastern seaboard and down as far as North Carolina. And driving, I drove all this, and so I had gone to Los Angeles and did a major trade show there with my guitar builder Robin Boucher, and we were on the floor in this huge place in Anaheim with about 500 people from China. And about 2 weeks later, when I got to Nashville, I got COVID. And but I didn't know. We didn't know what COVID was at that point. Really, weren't even taking it seriously. And I had it, and very nearly took me out. But I was on tour. I was playing with it and everything else, and I just had to sit down and on stage and play. And nobody really knew what was going on, even me. And so I made it all the way back up to the West Coast and picked up Bill Elliott. You remember Bill? He's been over to Shetland with me to the festival. And picked him up in Seattle and headed down through California and then all the way up to Reno. And we were on our way to the East Coast for the next leg of dates, and all of a sudden the agent called me and said, there's something wrong. I said, what's going on? He said, well, this is a pandemic, and they're closing the border between the United States and Canada. And I was like, holy crap. And so we lost 45 days of work within 20 minutes. Everything just canceled. The phone started ringing. The first gig canceled, and all of a sudden, everything just canceled. And we ran for home and got home, thankfully. And as soon as I got here, when I saw the extent of just how serious this was in this country, I looked at Ginger, my wife, and said, "This is not going to be over anytime soon. So we better do something seriously, to keep going." And so I already had a very active YouTube channel that I didn't really know about. I had started the channel years before, and I had a viral video with a song I had written called "Hometown Battlefield," and it got 4 million hits all over the world, and it caused my subscriptions to jump up to about 4,000. So I had that sitting there, and I didn't even really know it. And so we started putting.
Karen and I were actually listening to that song this morning.
Is that right?
And it's an amazing song. And when you said in the intro to that, you wrote it in about 10 minutes. You said
I did, yeah. After another huge long tour I'd been on in 2013, wow. And so we just started moving everything that I do onto YouTube, including live performance, and we did some really, well-planned filmed concerts and pushed by online school, which had been running for about 3 or 4 years. And so far, YouTube has been fantastic for us. I really doubt that I'll ever tour again the way I was doing before, because now the YouTube schedule is so incredibly busy that I won't be able to go back to it if I wanted to, I don't think, at this point.
But do you know something, JB? That's fantastic to hear as well, though, that somebody's using and nurturing the technology that's there. I think I've even felt my same slightly sometimes, thinking, why am I out playing every Friday, Saturday night somewhere to 4 o'clock in the morning, when I could be sitting at home and do a wee concert from home, And
it is true.
But that was, Karen put up your YouTube. That's the correct address for the YouTube thing there. She'll pop it back up for us just now.
Yeah.
And this is the best way to that's all correct. Does that look good to you?
It's actually youtube.com/c/JP Cormier.
/C, right?
Yeah, /C/JP Cormier, and that's the channel, and you can go there. We've got, there's multiple weekly actual programs that we put on. I'm doing that's correct. Yeah. So
Fantastic.
I'm doing an autobiography on Mondays called Life and Music. It's been going for 41 weeks now. And a live program on Wednesday nights called String Theory, where people just literally call in live through the chat window and ask questions, and it's a giant piss up, laughing our arses off for an hour, right? And then there's the live shows here, live at Ginger's Barn, where we're doing all kinds of concerts here, and this has all been strictly through donation. We don't even charge hard tickets. I saw that didn't work right in the very beginning. we've always done better with just free will donation than anything else that we've tried. So
I think I agree with that, and I think that's important as well, isn't it?
it is very important. Yeah.
I think you're valuing your audience that way as well.
Yes.
You know, you're not just taking them for granted that they will pay a ticket price all the time.
Well, there's some people that can't afford it, right?
Yep, exactly. This is hard times, isn't it?
It is, and they're the ones who need this the worst.
Yeah.
You know?
When that song took off and got you 4 million hits or something, that must have been incredible.
Yeah, it freaked me out. It was the first viral thing I'd ever done, and it was unexpected. I didn't really expect that song to do what it did, but I did it just for personal reasons. Wrote it for personal reasons. And it took off on us in a big way.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Amazing song. Do you fancy giving us a tune or a song or whatever you fancy, sir? We'd delight to hear you. I have tried to do an advertise and point out to people that JP is this incredible multi-instrumentalist that you don't know what he's going to pick up next. It's quite difficult. And then after that we can chat about just some old times, and I'd like to do a bit about the music school as well and tell us what you're up to and things. And
absolutely.
You take it away, sir. I was speaking to your old friend Tim Eady the other day as well.
Attaboy, how's he doing?
He's all right. Yeah, you know what he is. He's a good guy.
He's a lovely man, Tim.
Yeah,
he's my brother. Can you hear that okay?
It's good to have good brothers, you know.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah. Sounding good.
I'll send this one to you, Peter.
Fantastic.
Wow. I've
That
never
is,
heard anything like it.
That's stunning playing.
Thank you.
Smooth as butter. Smooth as butter. Tell me, what came along first? Was it fiddle or was it?
Oh no, guitar was first. I started playing guitar when I was 5.
Right.
And somebody lent me a fiddle when I was about 14. And I was way into guitar before I ever put my hand to the fiddle. I would have never played the fiddle without the guitar, actually, I think.
Okay.
Because I learned everything I know about music on that instrument, and it's sort of, I'm able to translate them. I'm able to translate that to pretty well any stringed instrument I pick up. So.
Yeah. And I mean, you've been heavily involved in folk music and country music, both sides of the track, really, haven't you? I mean, a lot of stuff going on. And I remember the first time you came over to Shetland when I met you. Was that '96? Was it? I
think it was. Yeah, I was just doing an interview yesterday for a podcast and spoke about that first trip.
Yeah, that was something else.
It really was. It altered my life. It did.
Yeah.
Like, I mean that sincerely. It altered my life. I still every day have dreams of moving to Shetland. We've actually spoken about it at length, my Ginger and I. You know, it's I love it there. It's an incredible place.
It's just it's a special place right enough. But I remember you coming up. I remember we ended up on the same bill at Mid-Yell Hall.
Yep.
And that's where my wife Karen comes from, Mid-Yell, and that was quite a night.
I'll never forget that. That was the one that blew me away the worst. That nobody even heard. It was we had just fell victim to the government here with the fisheries, and they cut off the cod fisheries for us, and all the fishermen in Shetland were flying the Canadian flag on their boats.
Yeah.
And I remember singing the Molly May, and the audience stood up at the end, and just stood there looking at me. It was unbelievable. It was just such a. There was just this. It was just. I never experienced anything like that before. That, and I've had it since, but it's only been there, right?
I think, and I remember being there that night as well, and it was just that absolute connection with the audience. That it was just the audience felt and understood every word of the song, and it was amazing. It was.
Yeah, it was. It really was something. You know, those things are few and far between in your career, in your life. Yeah. And I don't know. Like there's no real good way to put into words how I feel about Shetland and Scotland in general. I think the people there are the best people I've ever met in my life, ever. And every time we go, like we went there for our honeymoon,
Yeah.
we spent a week in Scotland, and I was on my way to Shetland when the pandemic started. It was the first thing I had to do when I got home was get refunded for my plane tickets, which was a battle.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't go, and
I think it's been a battle for a lot of people here as well, trying to get stuff back.
But I'm looking forward to the day when I can get on that boat again.
There's a comment just go up there. Somebody else remembers JP's first visit to Shetland. He just blew everyone away. Yeah, he did. And you've blown it every time you come here. You blow everyone away with music. It's just incredible. The last concert I saw you in was yourself and Tim Eadie up at where were we? Where it was, or Eighth or somewhere, weren't we?
Yeah.
And, the two of you guys, and that's an amazing act that you guys have too, because you just kind of go on a stage and see what happens.
Yeah, we like to do 45-minute medleys.
Yeah,
that's what we do. That's what every time we get on stage is we don't have a set list, so I just play and he plays and we just play. We did it at Celtic Colors the year before last.
Yeah,
in 2019, and it was unbelievable. It was pandemonium. I don't think we'd even done that here. We'd only done it over there, and we literally just took our phone, put a timer on the phone and a countdown, set it for 35 or 40 minutes or whatever the set length was, and the phone sitting there with the timer on it. And we said, well, we got to stop playing when it's zero, right? And the audience just flipped. They couldn't believe that we played for 40 minutes straight. It was something else.
Unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, I can highly recommend any of JP's. I've got a lot of JP's albums, and you've done tribute albums as well. You've done a few tributes as well.
Yeah, we did years ago. I did a tribute to Gordon Lightfoot.
That was amazing. Fantastic album.
I love that album, and I love Gordy. He's a good friend of mine, and he's that was a labor of love. That album was a long time in the making. It probably took the better part of 5 or 6 years to get that the way I wanted it, and then I had to get his permission, of course. And then when that came quickly, he was pretty happy I did it. And then the last time I talked to him, 3 years ago, I think it was. Up in Toronto, and I played right before him and introduced him, brought him on stage, and kissed his hand when he came up. He went to shake my hand, and I kissed him right on the hand, backed off like this, like I thought that was the funniest thing ever. And that night he was telling me, JP, you should make Volume 2. He was pushing me towards that. He's 81 years old.
Amazing.
So. I'm thinking I might do it or something. At least get something started so he knows I'm working on it. Because he was really keen. That guy, he's a beautiful man.
Is the best place for people to buy your albums and that to find you through the YouTube channel? Has it got all the links on it as well then?
All of the links are there to our Shopify store, which is also tied to my Facebook artist page. So the JP Cormier page on Facebook, there's a shop button right there. And also the link to the store, and we always make our little posts and advertise the best we can.
The thing I absolutely love about your playing as well is that you're an instrumentalist, but you're also an incredible songwriter. There's our old pal Isabel Gardner. Isabel's down near Edinburgh, and she's been over and seen you at Celtic Colours. There you go.
Cool.
That's it. I've still got to get there yet. I've never been there, but we'll get someday.
You got to come over to that, man.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one.
You'd have to leave your liver in Scotland.
Yeah, but did you not tell me a story about Yell? Did they not teach you how to wash your liver or something?
That's right. They taught me how to wash my liver out in the kitchen sink in Yell. And goddamn, if I ever put that to use in the last 30 years.
Excellent. Brilliant. You don't fancy giving us a wee song or a tune or whatever you fancy?
Sure, I will.
Whatever you fancy.
Yeah, no worries.
And then
I'll do my best. It's a wee bit I don't know what the weather's like over there. It's probably a lot nicer than here.
Have you got a stormy night there, have you?
No, we've just had a lot of snow and there's like zero humidity. So it gets real hard on the voice here in the wintertime.
Oh, yeah.
I'll try this.
What do pipers do then?
I don't know. I never thought about that. It must be difficult on them.
Yeah.
Their bags must be getting pretty dry. Just a lad I was at 13 years when my father passed away. And I had to take a job as deckhand on the Molly Bay. And the time I spent one summer past turned into 50 years. And the sound she made as she broke the waves still rings within my ears. She was passed to me when I was 23. Captain Mills went round the bend. He saw a forerunner on the dock one night and never sailed again. Superstition be damned, I sailed a proud fair maiden of the sea. There was never another like her, and no one for her but me. But I saw the time with me in my prime, no man could be my equal. Through the eye of a needle, I'd sail her any day. But when I grew older, I couldn't hold her, my courage slipped away. So they put a young boy from Kansas at the wheel of the Molly Bay. The years went by and the tails ran high of the catches we brought in. There were times I thought we'd sink her, but her spirit would not give in. Words are spoken, souls are broken, and the bottle shattered mine. I could see that she'd outlived me, I'd not win the war of time. But I saw the days of mid-devil ways, no man could be my equal. Through the eye of a needle, I'd sail her any day. But when I grew older, I couldn't hold her, my courage slipped away. So they put a young boy from Kansas at the wheel of the Molly Bay. I was there to see her sail away in the cold December haze. But the Kansas boys never seen the likes of the southeast wind and waves. At the harbor mouth, he drifted south right into Lighthouse Rock. And he smashed her keel and he laid her low while I watched there from the dock. That's all the time with me in my prime, no man could be my equal. Through the eye of a needle, I'd sail her any day. But when I grew older, I couldn't hold her, my courage slipped away. So they put a young boy from Kansas at the wheel of the Molly May. And there'll never be another the likes of the Molly May. And I wish that I'd gone down, boys, at the wheel of the Molly May.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I remember the night and the song, and wow.
That was the one that tipped her off in
Yeah.
yell, man.
That brought back a lot of. Now, there's
I'll never forget
Ali
that.
Meeks, an outstanding player and singing. And, you know, Ali Meeks, a member of the Atholl Highlanders, the private regiment.
Yes.
And so is Ross. Ross, that's with us tonight. So, Blair Atholl Castle. Have you ever been there in Perthshire?
No, I haven't.
Oh, well. Speak to
Stick
Ross.
it in the bucket list.
He'll
Stick it
sort
in the
that one
bucket
out
list,
for you.
JP. Yeah.
All right.
You mentioned something earlier, JP, that the guest that we had on before you made a bit of a similarity with, and it was in lockdown. There was an enjoyment in having like a online tuition, or there was that online thing, and you mentioned that with the YouTube channel you might not tour again. I would hate not to see you live. Please, in a couple of years' time, take that statement back and tour. Get back on the 100-day
Well, we'll see.
tours or something. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I just turned 52, and I've been on the road for 39 years. So it might be a time to slow down just a little bit.
Yeah, but that has been a good thing that the internet's shown you. The internet's been able to cope with musicians.
Yes.
And having
yeah.
and working from home or performing from other places and getting the music out differently.
Yeah.
Hey man,
Yeah.
JP, I'm 52 this year as well. I must have had a harder life than you. You look very chic and with it.
Well, I married young.
I've just gone
I
grey.
married a younger woman, so she keeps me on my toes.
Yeah, I married a younger woman too. Right enough.
Well, something's wrong there, Pete. Like, come on.
Well, tell me a wee bit about. You said about the music school. You've got that going online as well.
Yeah, we've got a music online school called mastermusicmethod.com, and it's a really cool. It was a love child for me. I've been trying to figure out a way to teach people, without having a brick and mortar place to teach, and because I could never do it. There's so many people wanting to take lessons from me that I wouldn't be able to. I'd spend all my time in a classroom somewhere in the back of a music store, right? So I thought I'm going to film my syllabus and I'm going to do it as a series of lectures that start from rank beginner right to the craziest, hardest stuff you could imagine, and started putting it together about 4 years ago, and then over the last year, it's tripled in size since the pandemic. And you can go on there, and it's all it is $15 US a month, and you get access to every lecture: guitar, fiddle, mandolin, banjo. There's like 100 different lectures on there, from rank beginner to, like, right now I'm planning to do a video on how to play the claw by Jerry Reed. Somebody asked me to do that, and and today actually we're filming one for the third solo of Foggy Mountain Breakdown by Earl Scruggs. Somebody wanted to learn that, and I'd already done the tune itself prior, and so it's turned out really well. It's got there's a lot of people signing up for it, so it's been fun because I'm talking to all these people, and they're like, "Well, we want to learn this next or that next," and so we have to kind of schedule what we're doing based upon the wants and needs of the subscribers now, right? It's kind of cool.
Sandra said you've got to do a long tour before you retire.
Oh yeah, well I've been doing a long tour, so it doesn't get much longer than what I've been on.
That sounds amazing. The music school, was that the right address we had? The
Yes.
www.mastermusicmethod.com.
Yeah, that's the one.
Fantastic. Well, there you go, folks. There's something else for you to pop on.
It's really cool, and it's super cheap. Like, I mean, for $15 a month, like, I mean, Jesus, if you went to, I was trying to figure out, I wanted it to be affordable for people, because when I teach people privately, it's $50 for a half an hour. That's what they're used to paying, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, why not put everything I know in one spot and just charge that much a month, and then they can do what they want.
Yeah.
And they'll stay on there forever because the lectures are so complex and not complex, but they're so detailed. And we shoot with multiple camera angles and close-ups and all this stuff. And so people really get a charge out of it, right?
Fantastic. I mean, what could you get? What could you get for $15?
Not much these days. No.
Ross, you banjo?
I've been working. I'm a massive fan of Scruggs and bluegrass. I love it. I bought a banjo. I started self-teaching myself. I didn't get very far, but I've got 5 or 6 chords and I can do about 4 or 5 different rolls, but I can't put it all together.
Well, you sign up for that. You sign up for that thing. You'll be playing like Earl Scruggs in 3 months.
All right. I'm your
Is
man.
that a guarantee?
I'm on board.
Scruggs is my hero. He's my hero. So everything I talk about on the banjo is always tied back to Scruggs in some way.
Yeah.
So
I'm sold. I'm in.
Yeah.
Is that in the small print right at the bottom? You will play like Earl Scruggs.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we guarantee you play just like Earl Scruggs in 90 days, or you have to send me a dozen beer.
Yeah, that's right. That's the deal. I've seen me sitting, when I'm sitting teaching the kids in the school with the accordion, they say, "Try that bit again, and this time if you make that same mistake, you have to give me 20 quid." And they breeze it the next time. There's no way they're giving me 20 quid.
That's right. That'll do it every time.
It's really good to see though. So, but it's been it really is. So, who were your major influences then when you were?
Well, my first influence, of course, was Chet Atkins.
Yeah.
And that's how I started playing when I was 5. I was a finger picker.
Mm-hmm.
And so I still am to this day. A lot of my show is done with fingerstyle guitar, and then I discovered players like Doc Watson and Dan Creary, and then on the other side of the coin there were players like Django Reinhardt. And as I got into my teens, I started to get into some of the heavier players, like Joe Satriani and Yngwie Malmsteen and Randy Rhoads and like these. So I just ate this massive cross section of guitar, and it spawned everything else that I do. And then the fiddle, my father was a fiddler, and all he listened to was Winston Fitzgerald and Angus Chisholm. So, and then I got records of Ron Ganella and Ali Bain and Charlie Cowie and all those great Scottish fiddlers, and then of course the old time players here like Don Messer and Graham Townsend, and so there was a massive. My family was just. I had 2 brothers that played. My mother and father played, but I was just ate up with music. There was a ton of vinyl in the house, and that's how I learned just everything by ear.
It's interesting you saying Charlie Cowie there. We had a fellow John Carmichael on last week, an accordion player. And him and Charlie were the best of pals their whole life and used to do a lot of gigs together.
Yeah.
And that's 2 weeks in a row Charlie's name's been mentioned there. And,
yeah, he was a tremendous player.
He was
so much emotion. Like I still remember, hearing him play, a straight march and make you almost cry. Just so much heart in it.
Yeah.
And of course, also. Geez, I'm going to have a brain fart, not even be able to say his name. The Shetland,
Ali.
Not Ali, the main man. Violet Tulloch played with him. What the hell?
Ali Bain.
Not Ali Bain. Before Ali.
Oh, before Ali, Willie Hunter.
Willie Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah.
My God, that guy was just ridiculous, unbelievable. And I've got to play with Violet several times. And the last time I was in Shetland, I went to her house and played with her, and I was so embarrassed, but I did anyway. But what a tremendous piano player she is, and then guys like Brian Gear, holy God, like Jesus, some good players over there. Unreal. Yeah.
And young Ross Couper that we just had on earlier tonight as well.
He's a friggin' monster. That kid's a monster. Yeah. He's out of control, that guy.
And,
Yeah,
and
he is.
his brother's some guitar player too. You've
I
had
know.
sessions with him as well, haven't you?
I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're both ridiculous.
yeah, it's great, you know. So, do you fancy giving us one more just before you go tonight?
Yes.
What do you fancy? See, he looks round us casually and thinks, "What instrument will I pick up
No,
now?"
Bo. They can't see you.
It's okay, we don't mind if she wants to come on
Go
and
that
sing or
way.
anything.
Yeah, they'll see less of you. I'll get over here without my bow, Peter. Ginger's
Oh
doing an
boy.
emergency bow retrieval.
All right. It's just not
Go
as
ahead.
long as.
I covered the camera. She does. We have a thing here that's part of our deal that she never appears on camera. It's
Well,
It's like a running gag.
yeah.
Like
Well, Karen's a little bit the same. Karen doesn't like to appear after in the camera that much either.
it's pretty funny. All right, let me.
I thought she was away to rehear the bow or something. The way you spoke.
No, we just don't ever let her. We never let her. She doesn't want to be, but it's become a bit of a gag now that everybody wants to know what she looks like. So if you watch our channel, this Christmas, we built a gingerbread house live. We didn't do it live, but we filmed it, right? And so it was a Christmas present to our fans to show Ginger finally. When the camera panned over to her, she was wearing a full white Santa beard, like up to her eyeballs, and a big red hat. You couldn't see nothing but the glasses sticking out, right? It was really funny.
That was it.
Here's some tunes my father used to play.
Yeah, well done, JP.
Uh,
What's that last tune called again?
I don't know. My father played those tunes, and I don't know the name of any of them. The first three tunes are all Winston. They're off one of his records, and then that second reel I don't know, and the third one my dad played that just about every time he played the fiddle.
Great tune.
Yeah.
I really love these old tunes with loads and loads and loads of melody in them.
Yes.
Sometimes some of the new stuff that's coming out with some of the guys, it's amazing, but I struggle to get my head around it when I kind of sing it back to myself sometimes.
Yeah, that's always been my problem too. There's a bunch of great composers, young composers, but Winston himself used to give Jerry Holland shit because he made tunes that were too complicated, that you couldn't whistle.
Yeah.
And Winston was right. He said you can write tunes that are incredibly impressive technically, but if you can't remember them, if the common player can't remember them, probably not going to do too well, right?
And it's kind of like the song thing as well. I heard somebody, and I can't remember who said it, but if the drunk at the end of the bar goes out singing your song at the end of the night, you've cracked it.
That's about it.
He's remembering it.
Yeah.
So really, really good.
It is true.
So just got to sit tight. What with the YouTube for a wee while?
What's that? Say again?
So you're going to kind of sit tight and work with the YouTube for a wee while.
That's correct, yeah.
And take it from there. So remember, folks, you really, really have to check out JP's YouTube channel.
Yep. Come and subscribe to us. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and you can also join the channel and become a member of it for like $2 a month, up to $6 a month, and you get all this extra content that the public doesn't see. We do a separate set of stuff for our private membership, and we have a lot of fun with those guys.
And then if we get Ross to join up to the banjo class, and
there you go. I'm going to be waiting for you. You can talk to me. Go on the forums, Ross, and write me, and it comes right to my phone. I can talk to you in real time.
And then in 3 months' time we'll get you back on and see if he's sounding like Scruggs.
All right. I'll have them worked out.
It'll either be that, or you'll be sitting there creating beer.
Oh yeah, I'll either be drinking beer. He's
going to create tenants.
I'll either be drinking tenants or he'll be playing the banjo, one or the other.
JP, thank you so much for coming on tonight, folks. There's so much for you to check out for JP there. His YouTube channel and the Master Music Method. Go on and have a look at both and see what you can get out of it, because I'm sure you will. JP, it's been so good seeing you again, man.
I love you, brother. It's good to see you too, man.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see you in person again.
It's good having brothers on other sides of the ocean as well. It's magic.
It is. Awesome.
It's brilliant. And you take care. Listen, thanks to you and thanks to Ginger there as well.
Yep.
Even though she doesn't want to be seen.
No, we hit her good. We didn't see her.
No, we didn't. No, it's okay. Say thanks very much for.
I certainly will. She's sitting there
fetching the bow.
There you go. Yep.
But so good to see you. Listen, take care. I didn't realise you'd actually had COVID.
Yeah, it was pretty scary, but it was scary, but I got through it. It took a while to get over.
Yeah, there's some great comments coming in at the side here. Like my bets on the tenants. They've got no faith in you.
Who said that? Is that Alan? I love a challenge.
They're starting to really fly in there now. I can see.
Yeah. It's just like you give them an inch.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, listen, JP, thanks so much. You take care of yourselves from now on, and I hope we do meet in the flesh somewhere soon, sometime again. It would be really great.
We will.
I can't wait. You take care, bro.
Take care of yourself, guys. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Bye.
See you soon.
Nice to meet you.
Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you.
There we go. What a great musician that man, eh?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unbelievable player.
And Ross too.
I mean, gee whiz, both of them. But with JP, I just can't get over JP when he puts down a guitar and sings so beautifully, and then he picks up a fiddle and plays like that, and you're like, what? And if you've not heard him playing the banjo, oh, holy moly, it's just incredible. It's just
and
there's
you mentioned
Salvi.
at the show tonight.
There's Salvi on tonight. See Salvi there. In Spain, Salvi wrote a tune for us for the show.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and I've been in touch with him this week.
He sent us quite a few tunes.
Yeah, he's been in touch this week. I've been in touch with him, and he sent me some photographs of where he lives and things, and it's lovely. Real nice area. So, can't wait. So, right, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I do hope you've enjoyed yourselves tonight. Fantastic. Well done, Karen. That was fantastic. No spams, so we beat them. Yes. Fantastic. You take care, folks out there, and we'll see you on Wednesday to announce who we've got as guests, and we've got another couple of great guests. You know something, folks, I think we've got guests booked up to the end of April now, 2 guests a night, so you've got plenty of entertainment coming. Thanks for all your support, share it about, and we'll see you soon. Listen, Roscoe, take care. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks so much to our guests tonight, Ross Couper and JP Cormier. What an amazing pair of guys to have on a show. Just top notch. I think we're doing not bad bringing quality to the public here.
We're doing our best, absolutely.
We are. Anyway, thanks very much, folks. It's good night from me.
And a good night from him.